on any sort of issue that might come before them as a judge. This makes judge campaigns very difficult to figure out because they don't have any party affiliation. They can't talk about any of the rulings they might make. So how the heck do you figure out who to vote for in a judge race? Most people end up just voting for the incumbent because they figure, well, this person's there, they must be good. That's not happening this time. One of the Supreme Court justices, a liberal woman, doesn't like Inslee and didn't want to give him the ability to appoint her successor. So she announced she was not running again, but was going to serve out the full last term that she was elected to. That ends this year. And so the election on this November ballot for a state Supreme Court judge is an open seat. So 2 new candidates running to be on the state Supreme Court. One of those candidates is Dave Larson. Remember that name? He's also been in this room before. Dave Larson is currently a trial court judge at the municipal level in Federal Way. And he is running against a guy who is very left-wing and is not a judge anywhere. A lawyer, but not a judge. And we like Larson. He's a constitutionalist. And more importantly, he's an experienced judge. He's been a judge for 20-odd years. So he'd be good on the state Supreme Court. He's conservative, he's a constitutionalist, and he's actually an experienced judge. They aren't always, you know. Some of these Supreme Court judges are politicians who get appointed to the Supreme Court. So David Larson, remember his name for Larson for state Supreme Court. When we get through the statewide executive and the judge position there, we get to the legislative spots. And Dan Matthews touched on this for a moment. There's some concern that if the left-wingers get any more seats in Olympia, they'd have a supermajority. I myself do not think that's going to happen. I think that the Republicans will probably pick up, not a wave, but a few seats in the legislature this cycle. But you're safe here. You have 3 good representatives, at least I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think we're pretty good. 3 good representatives here in the 19th. And for those of you who live on the other side of I-5, pretty good representatives in the 20th district too. The Cowlitz County is, of course, split between 2 ledge districts, the 19th and the 20th. These seats are secure, I'm fairly certain. The numbers from the primary election look like we're holding our fort well here, and the fellows in the 20th are holding theirs too. There's going to be a little bit of friction and heat and some hot races down in Clark County. A couple of those legislative races are going to be closer. And there are going to be some good races where we may pick up some seats in the suburban districts up in Pugetopolis. The 5th legislative district, which is kind of Issaquah. The 42nd, which is much farther north, it's kind of Whatcom, Bellingham area. And the 10th, which is mostly Whidbey Island. Those are areas now where there are heavily Democrat representatives, and I think the Republicans could pick up a seat or 2 here or there in those areas. But what I really want to use the last bit of our meeting here tonight to focus on is home, is the legislative priorities of your representatives here. And we're in the room together. Is Jeff still here to take off? Well, then we'll hand the baton to my great seatmate in the Washington State House of Representatives, and your representative, Joel McIntyre. Joel.